Raider Nation, what's going on? You're watching the Raiders Report, and coming up here on today's show, a preview of the Raiders home opener, Sunday Night Football at Allegiant Stadium. If you're going to be at the game, come party with Jeremy Chuggs and I this weekend, as we're going to be there. Pittsburgh Steelers going up against the Las Vegas Raiders. Both teams are 1-1. Both teams desperately in need of a win right now. The last time that I checked, the over-under in this game was 43 points, and the Raiders were 2.5-point favorites. For those of you watching this live, y'all are unbelievable. For those that aren't watching this live, click that subscribe button because we're going to be going live for Raiders Steelers on Sunday night. The question, though, that I got is who you got, because there's going to be a lot of Steeler fans that watch this show. There's going to be a lot of Raider fans that I hope also tune in. And if you see a single Pittsburgh Steelers fan down below, get them the hell out of my chat, man. I want to see nothing but LVs down below. Who you got? Steelers, Raiders. It is a must-win football game for the Silver and Black. So coming up here, what we're going to end up doing is I'm going to get into my keys to victory on offense and on defense, Taino. And then I'm also going to break down some Raiders injury news that I think that all of y'all want to know, because Jakobi Meyers, got an update on him if you're wondering whether or not he's going to play. And then I'll tell you the one player that I know a lot of y'all need to be a little bit worried about, and he plays on the defensive side of the football. Let's go to the 5 offensive keys. The first one is this: no turnovers, the Raiders win. I truly believe that. To me, the Raiders are the better overall team than the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Steelers have the better defense. The Raiders have the better offense. And if the Raiders don't turn over the ball, they're going to come away with a just win, baby. Let's go to the second key to victory here for the Silver and Black. You got to figure out a way to get Josh Jacobs going. I was talking to our Steelers host here at Chat Sports, and he told me that one of the biggest weaknesses that this defense has, and it's their biggest weakness, is their inability to stop the run game. So because of their inability to stop the run game, I do think that's really going to open up a lot of things for Jacobs to hopefully finally get it going. The next key to victory is you got to stretch the field, Jimmy. You got to stretch the field, McDaniels. Right now, the Raiders are tied for dead last in the NFL with 20-yard completions with 4. They have yet to complete a single ball over 40 yards, and what does that do? It makes defenses stack the box. So if defenses are going to be stacking the box, that can't open up things for Josh Jacobs. Even if the play's not there, even if you feel like you're forcing it, I don't give a shit. Stretch the field. Use Trey Tucker. Use Davante. Use somebody to stretch the field, because if you just keep dinking and dunking, teams are going to stack the box. Let's go to the next one right here. It's more screen passes, and I can't even believe that I'm saying this. And also, shout out to Chuggs for using a picture of Amir Abdullah. That's an all-time bit. The reason, though, that I want the Raiders to use more screen passes is because the Steelers are going to blitz. They're going to bring pressure. And the Raiders right now are the best pass-blocking offensive line in the National Football League. Every single statistic proves that. However, the easy way to sometimes take a little bit of pressure off of the blitz is to be able to dink and dunk here and there and set up some screens. The Raiders are a good screen team. Josh McDaniels is a good screen coach. Let's use him a little bit more. Then the final one is this: make adjustments. I'm going to try to stay calm on Sunday Night Football. I'm going to try to stay calm right now. It is unbelievably frustrating when you have a head coach who is a offensive mastermind that can't make adjustments. The Raiders right now, when you look at the way that they score points on a quarter basis, they are top 5 in the NFL in the first quarter. They are bottom 5 in the second, third, and fourth quarter. They have yet to score a single point in the third quarter this year. Why? Teams make adjustments. Josh McDaniels fails to. I need you, Josh, to be a little bit less ignorant on your game plan that you put forward. And if the defense changes up something, you also got to change up something. If you don't make adjustments, not only are you going to lose to the Steelers, not only is this season going to be shit, you're not going to have a job for very much longer. So if you want to keep your job, if you like getting paid, make some adjustments. We got some defensive keys coming up here in just a second. But we got a new sponsor alert here on the Raiders Report. I want all of y'all to spam Game Time right now. Not only is Game Time hooked up Me, my fiance, her dad, because I got some Raiders-Cowboys tickets a few weeks ago for his birthday. Guess what? We also got some Drake tickets. Had a hell of a time at the concert this past weekend. And if anybody's planning on going to Las Vegas and you don't have your tickets yet for the Steelers game, hey, man, I know a guy, and it's game time. So download the Game Time app right now for $20 off with code RaidersChat. And I want you to snag the tickets without all the stress with Game Time. So, Nation, create an account, redeem code RaidersChat for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last-minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. Forget planning months in advance. Game Time has deals on tickets right up to the day of the event. Get exclusive flash deals on tickets for football, basketball, baseball, concerts, comedy, theater, and a whole lot more. It is the perfect app for buying tickets when you're planning on visiting Las Vegas. Download the Game Time app right now, create an account, and use code RaidersChat for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code RaidersChat for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last-minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. And if you haven't already, look down in the comments, look down in the description, click that button right now, and download the Game Time app. I think it's amazing because, hell, I remember 2.5 years ago, like right when Alex and I first started dating, and I'm sure there's some people out there that are looking for a fun, like, little date idea. There's no doubt about it. I ended up getting Alex and I tickets to a Dallas Stars game, and we had decent tickets. Like, we weren't front row, but we weren't nosebleeds. I'm not kidding you, Chugs, $4 a pop. Because what Game Time does is they wait to the very, very last minute, and what they do is they say, well, we make more money having somebody in the seat because they're going to make money off concessions, and they'll just sell the ticket super, super cheap instead of just having nobody in it. That's why Game Time's a game changer, and that's why Game Time's great in Las Vegas, because people wait till the last minute. So one more time, download Game Time, $20 off with code RaidersChat. All right, we're going to keep it moving here on today's show with some of our keys to victory on the defensive side of the football. You got to get after Kenny Pickett. Kenny Pickett has been booty. Kenny Pickett has been booty cheeks. He's been bad this season. He's been really flustered under pressure. Now, they're not going to have their top wide receiver or one of their top receivers, Deontay Johnson. They still have George Pickens. And after that, there's not a lot of options. However, I'm old enough, and most of y'all know, the Raiders have struggled covering tight ends throughout history. They've done a halfway decent job this season, but you got to cover Pat Freiermuth. The top two targets that you got to worry about for the Pittsburgh Steelers is George Pickens, who's going to be physical. I'm hoping that they put Marcus Peters or Nate Hobbs on him. And then you got Pat Freiermuth. If you take Pat Freiermuth and George Pickens out of the game and make Kenny Pickett target somebody else, that's going to result in good things. I want Divine Diablo, Robert Spillane to step up, but I also need a Marcus Epps, a Trevon Merrick to play well, and make sure that Pat Freiermuth doesn't have himself a game. This next one's a little bit of an obvious one, but we got to win in the trenches, and we got to be competitive in the trenches is probably what I should have put here. Last week against Buffalo, we got whooped. I mean, we got our dicks pushed in the dirt. We got our asses rammed, and I don't know what else you want to say that's probably out of pocket, but you could say all of those things, and if you have a great defense, but if you lose in the trenches, doesn't matter. And the Raiders are going to give Josh Allen all that time to throw. If they give Kenny Pickett all the time to throw, they're going to make Kenny Pickett look like Kenny Touchdown, and I don't need that to happen. So get in the face of Kenny Pickett, rattle him a little bit, win in the trenches. Make sure you're not giving up 2-3 yards before contact, because Najee Harris, even though he hasn't played well, averaging 3.9 yards per carry, if he gets a full head of steam, he's a tough guy to bring down. Win in the trenches, and if I don't see Nesta Jade Silvera out there on the field, oh my Lord, so help me God. Let's go to the very next key to victory, but Jeremy's telling me, but first, I want you guys to fill in the blank right now. The Raiders will beat the Steelers if. The Raiders will beat the Steelers if they get after Kenny Pickett. If the Raiders have 3 sacks this upcoming week, and I'll say 8 or 9 pressures on Pickett, they'll win the game. That's one of the biggest things that they could do. Husker Raider, if they score more points. You're 100% right. 100% right. All right, let's go to the next key to victory here for the Silver and Black. The Las Vegas Raiders better stop the run. They better stop the run. I don't know if it's going to be Najee Harris. I don't know if it's going to be Warren. But to me, Pickett right now is playing at such a low level that if you take the running game out of it, they're not going to be good enough to beat you. And Najee Harris is a running back that, even though I do not think looks very good right now, if he gets a full head of steam, it's really, really hard to stop a running back that big when they're 4 or 5 yards up the field and nobody has touched him yet. Nobody. All right, let's go to the final defensive key here, and it's the exact same thing I said on offense. It's make adjustments. My biggest freaking thing for this team this week is if you don't make adjustments on the offensive, defensive side of the football, I'm going to lose a lot of hope in this coaching staff, because what's really frustrating is last week against the Buffalo Bills, you saw Patrick Graham try to do the same thing over and over and over and over again, and it didn't work. If something's not working, change your game plan. Like, I hate when this Raiders team is so ignorant and their coaching staff is so ignorant, and they're like, well, this is what we think we need to do, and it just comes down to execution. That's not true. If you don't have the right pieces out there and you're not executing, then I'm sorry, you got to change your game plan. And what I don't want to see is Patrick Graham just continue to bring 3 or 4 players after the quarterback, drop back into a coverage 2, and get picked apart. If it's not working, go to the drawing board and change it up instead of just sitting there for 3 quarters and getting your shit pushed in, because I'm not watching that again. I will watch it again because I'll be live, but I don't want to watch it again. It's so frustrating, and the Raiders simply cannot have that happen to them. I cannot. Raider Nation doesn't deserve that. You don't deserve it. I don't deserve it. Chugs doesn't deserve it. Cass Joey doesn't deserve it. I simply don't want to have to deal with the idea of the Raiders' inability to make corrections again. Coming up next here on the Raiders Report is the injury news to know, because it's not so much of a big injury question mark compared to last week, but the injury updates are going to be around Jakobi Meyers, which is going to be an important one, and then also Bilal Nichols. So those are the 2 biggest injury updates that I have at the time that I am filming this video right now, and we put it out on Wednesday, the update around Jakobi Meyers, but the latest going on right now around the Raiders injury report is this. They have 7 guys on it. Jacorian Bennett was limited. I was told he's going to play. Divine Diablo, Marcus Epps, Jakobi Meyers, all full participants. So the fact that you're seeing Jakobi down there as a full participant means he passed concussion protocol, which we said on Wednesday here, and he's going to be playing. Chris Smith, Tyree Wilson. So Chris Smith is sick. Tyree Wilson also, from what I am told, has something like the flu. And then Bilal Nichols is battling a hand and a hamstring injury. So the injury the most notably out of all those is Nichols. I got a really good buddy of mine close to Bilal Nichols. He was the one that helped me break the news last offseason that Nichols tore his meniscus and wasn't going to be fully healthy, and basically said that, like, it's a 50-50 right now. I don't have the answer for you. It's probably going to come down to a game-time decision unless he feels really, really solid going into Friday's practice. But as it stands right now, from what I understand, Bilal Nichols is a coin flip. And all I'm saying is this: whether he's a coin flip or not, Nesta Jade Silvera better have his big booty out there on the field. So the way that I'm going to end today's show is this. If you haven't subscribed, click that subscribe button. If you don't got those notifications turned on, turn on those noties. Jeremy Chugs and I, we're going to be live for Sunday Night Football, Raiders, Steelers. And I know this. You are not going to want to miss this game. It's going to be a late game. Chugs and I are going to be partying on a Friday night out in Vegas. We're going to be partying Saturday. Then we're taking a flight, 6:30 in the morning on Sunday. Guess what? We're going to be here, full energy, ready to rock and roll. Hopefully the Raiders go to 2-1. And if you plan on rocking with Jeremy Chugs and I want you to spam RO4L right now down in the comments. I'm going to give some shout-outs here on live. And we have a lot of shots to do as well. So, hey, tune in, Raiders, Steelers, Week 3. It's a must-win.